Hello everybody, it's me again, and sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I thought I would do something a little different. In this video, I'm going to be doing my ratings for each adaptation of the Chronicles of Narnia film series. Now, this is what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to review each story for each adaptation from least to greatest and give my thoughts about it, the things I do like about them, and the things I don't like about them. And also going to give the number of stars that I'm going to give them. So what I'm also going to do is I'm mostly going to be reviewing the BBC adaptations, the Focus on the Family Radio Theater adaptations, and of course the Walden adaptations. And at the end of the video, I'm going to do a contest to see who will be the winner of the best adaptations of the Chronicles of Narnia series ever. I am going to include the cartoon version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but it will not be in the contest at the end of this video, since there is no sequel to this adaptation at all. And I shall also mention that I'm not going to include the 1967 version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, since the episodes have been destroyed and only one had survived. Same goes for the BBC radio dramas, since I have not listened to all 7 of them, or the radio theater versions of the last 3 books, since there are no other adaptations of them to compete with. So, they unfortunately will not count. I'm sorry, fans. Alright then, so now we've gone through the stuff. Before I get started, I will be giving away a lot of some spoilers. So if you haven't seen all the adaptations, as well as listen to the radio theater versions, and if you don't want to be completely spoiled, I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave, because there's a lot of things I need to discuss, okay? So, let's get started. Alright, let's start with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Starting with my least favorite one of all is, of course, the BBC version. Now, not only is it my least favorite version of the story, it's also my least favorite one out of all the BBC versions. This is the one I hate the most. There are a lot of things I don't like about this one. Mostly the effects are just really weird. I don't like cartoons and live action taking place in the same world. Most of everything looks incredibly fake, the scores are just dull and boring, and the performances are actually bad, especially Richard Dempsey, who played Peter, who, in my opinion, is the most annoying one of them all. I cannot stand this Peter. He was terribly weak, especially in the second episode. Whenever he argues with Edmund, it sounded incredibly fake. Richard Dempsey was obviously the worst actor of them all. I cannot stand him. And to be honest, he, Jonathan, and the 2 Sophies don't look like a Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy at all, in my opinion. And Barbara Killiman, I feel like she was way overacting on some scenes. She wasn't really a good choice to play the White Witch, to be honest. But yeah, there isn't anything I like about this adaptation, and I'm only going to give it a 1 star out of 5. Sorry, fans, but I really hate this adaptation. Alright, next up is, of course, the cartoon version. Now, even though I actually do like this one more than the BBC adaptation, I can't say it's not really my all-time favorite, because there's only one thing I like about this adaptation and one thing I don't like about this adaptation. The one thing I like about this adaptation is that the White Witch in this version is the best one of them all. And it's not because she's exactly how she's described in the book, but also because she's the one who actually scared me the most. I'm seriously, I mean, when she shrieks, she terrified me. Plus, her shrieks do hurt my ears sometimes. But yeah, the White Witch in this version is the best one of all. I give it a big thumbs up. The only thing I don't like about this adaptation is mostly Peter. Peter sounds more like a grown-up than a teenager. I think I could have done find a much better voice actor to voice his character. But overall, I personally think this is an okay adaptation. But I'm only going to give it 3 stars out of 5. All right, next up is the Focus on the Family Radio Theater version. Now, there are actually a few things I like about this version. Is one, the scores are actually really great. The sound effects are incredible, and the voices match the characters perfectly. The only thing I don't like about this one is mostly David Suchet as Aslan. I'm sorry, but he really was not a very good choice for that character. It's just his voice just doesn't really match the character, doesn't match Aslan at all. Feels like it's just way too powerful. I like Aslan's voice being soft and powerful at the same time. But other than that, I really like this adaptation a lot, but I'm only giving it 4 stars out of 5. Alright, and lastly is, of course, the Disney/Walden adaptation. Now, there are actually a few things I do like about this one. Um, the, uh, the The scores are absolutely gorgeous. The special effects are incredibly amazing, and the performances are absolutely amazing. I This is my favorite adaptation of all. There isn't anything I don't like about this adaptation, and it gets 5 stars. So therefore, the Disney slash Walden adaptation of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the winner. Alright, next up is Prince Caspian. Starting with my least favorite one of all is, of course, the BBC version. Now, I really do not like this adaptation either, because again, it's got the same elements from the first one, and I also feel it was very rushed. I mean, it only had 2 episodes. Yeah, there isn't anything I like about this adaptation, and it also gets 1 star out of 5. Alright, next up is, of course, the Disney slash Walden adaptation. Now, I know some people did not like this movie, and considering that this film wasn't a huge success at the box office, and Disney obviously likes to pretend that this film doesn't exist. But there's only one thing I like about it and one thing I don't like about it. The one thing I like about it is that it does have the same elements from the first movie. The only thing I didn't like about it was that I hate that they made Peter and Susan the opposite of what they are. Peter's just being an absolute jerk and Susan's a warrior. That's not what she is. But I personally think it's an okay adaptation, and I'm only going to give it 3 stars out of 5. And lastly is, of course, the Focus on the Family radio theater version. Now, this one is my favorite one of all, and again, it's got the same elements from the first one, and the scores in here are my absolute favorite ones of all. I love the scores in this adaptation. They're just so beautiful, and they have a similar feel to the Walden adaptations, and there isn't anything I like about it apart from David Suchet as Aslan, and it gets 5 stars. So therefore, the radio theater version of Prince Caspian is the winner. Okay, now let's move on to the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Starting with my least favorite one of all is, of course, the Fox and Walden adaptation. Now, this film is a really, really bad adaptation. I mean, this was really, really, really bad. But I still say The Last Airbender is worse than this movie, to be honest. There are a lot of things I really, really do not like about this version. Well, there are parts that don't make sense. The characters are off. I hate the stupid green mist, and the only reason this movie failed at the box office is because they got a new director, and he was not a good choice. He was the one who came up with the stupid green mist, all because the book did not have a villain. It's a really, really terrible movie. But there are a couple things I like about it. I love the design of the Dawn Shredder. It's absolutely beautiful, and they did pretty much get my favorite scene right. But those 2 elements are not even strong enough to save the film. This version only gets 1 star out of 5. Now let's move on to the BBC version. Now, even though I really do not like the Walden adaptation of this story, I can't say that I actually enjoyed this version either. Mainly because, again, it's got the same elements from the first two, and the thing is, most of every island looks exactly the same. The only thing I like about it was that the effects are a little less weird, but that unfortunately is not strong enough to make me like this version. But I'm only going to give it 2 stars out of 5. Alright, now let's move on to the Focus on the Family radio theater version. Now, this one is my favorite one of all, and it does have the same elements from the first two, and the best part about this version was mostly Stephen Webb's performance as Eustace. He nailed the character so perfectly. Honestly, just when you first hear his voice, it just makes you just love to hate him. He was wonderful as Eustace. He was perfect as the character. So yeah, I really like this adaptation a lot, and apart from David Suchet as Aslan and the design of the Dawn Shredder on the cover, there isn't anything I like about it, and it gets 4 stars out of 5. So therefore, the winner for the best adaptation of The Voyage of the Dawn Treader goes to the Focus on the Family radio theater version. Okay, now on to the last adaptation, The Silver Chair, starting with the BBC version. Now, out of all the BBC adaptations, this is the one I like the most. And what I like about it was that they don't have the cartoon creatures, the effects are a little less weird, and the acting is a bit better. I mean, they're not phenomenal performances, but they're not in any way distracting. And plus, Barbara Killiman was a lot more subtle as the Green Lady. I like her as that character more. The only two things I don't like about it is that the scores are still dull and boring, and the animals look incredibly fake. But I'm only going to give it 3 stars out of 5. Okay, now let's move on to the last adaptation, the Focus on the Family radio theater version. Now, this is one I like the most, and what I like about it is that it does have the same elements from the first three, and the only thing I don't like about it was that there's a score that repeats throughout the third act of the story, which doesn't usually happen in any of the other adaptations, and I mean, it's not bad, I mean, it's just kind of distracting a little bit. Now, this is my favorite adaptation of all, and it gets 4 stars out of 5. So therefore, the radio theater version of The Silver Chair is the winner. Okay, now let's recap which story adaptation got the highest ratings. And as you can see, the winner for the best adaptation of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe goes to the Disney/Walden adaptation with 5 stars. Same goes for the radio theater version of Prince Caspian. And the adaptation of The Voyage of the Dino Treader that got the highest ratings goes to the radio theater versions with 4 stars. Same goes for their adaptation of The Silver Chair. Alright, now it is time to announce who will be the winner for the best adaptation of the Chronicles of Narnia franchise. And those once again are the BBC versions, the Focus on the Family radio theater versions, and the Walden versions. And the winner goes to... Focus on the Family radio theater versions. Let's face it, I mean, the Walden versions, it's mostly the first film that did extremely well. The second and third, not so much. And the BBC versions, I really do not care for them that much because there's a lot of things I don't like about them. And what I like about these versions mostly is because, they got the highest ratings for me. They were a lot more true to the books, and they managed to do all 7 of them without any problems. And plus, I like them more than the BBC radio dramas. They're way too spoon-fed for me. I really do not like those versions that much. So yeah, congratulations, Focus on the Family Radio Theater. You're the winner for the best adaptations of the Chronicles of Narnia franchise. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked my review of my ratings for the each adaptations of the Chronicles of Narnia franchise, and hopefully I'll see you guys very soon for another video. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you guys later. Bye!